Action.
Hey, for Halloween, you can't dress up as blackface. Can't no white person in America dress up as whiteface. Why in the world would DJ Envy have his little daughter dress up as nutface? You remember them old you remember them old they used to talk about Lil Kim, and they said Lil Kim had to get her stomach pumped because she had too much of that nut in her
Yeah, I remember
stomach.
hearing that,
I
man.
don't think it was
I don't
true,
think that
but
was
even
true.
still, why would you
Yeah.
dress your 8-year-old daughter up as Lil Kim, shoot a whole music video, and then post that to the world to see this girl's wearing bikinis and wigs and being explicit? We just watched this video. I would put it in. No, I'm not going to share that. I feel like a predator, a creep.
Yeah, I don't like it. TikTok, right? And this is just aligned with this. So TikTok, they do a lot of dances, a lot of suggestive dances. There's a lot of music on TikTok that I think kids are privy to that I don't like. When I see my daughters doing it, I say no. I don't even like them mimicking the dances that they see. It's disgusting to me. So to see DJ Envy do that with his daughter is like so far beyond my idea of or imagination
Just to
why he would do
compare
that.
it, when Kim Kardashian, Kanye West's wife, I don't even know what she did before she met Kanye West. Who is she? What did she do? I think she was a nut bucket also. And so when she had her daughter imitating the girl who likes to shake that voluptuous thing like jelly over and over again, what's that girl's name? She say, "Eat it, you a munch, you a munch." That's her whole song. That's her claim to fame.
Ice Spice.
Ice Spice. And so
Yeah.
Kanye West's daughter, she was dressed up as Ice Spice and she had the provocative clothes on. And I mean, like, what, she like 11, 12 years old?
Right.
And so when she did it, Kanye went on the social medias and was like, hey, I don't want my daughter dressing up sexually in a suggestive way. And everybody pushed back on him, talking about he was trying to be controlling. They sided with the mother. And so in this conversation, I think most people, they are against DJ Envy. But where's the mom at?
I was just about to say, how did the mother let this go down? How did the mother even watch him go through with all of this? First off, he should have known better. He shouldn't have even attempted to do this. But why? I think it's wild that the mom
What does
didn't
his
even get
daughter know
involved.
about Little Kim?
He's DJ Envy. I'm pretty sure she know a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure she listens. First off, let's be honest. These children, without any type of supervision, are listening to all types of songs and all type of music. It's even worse than Lil Kim. But at the same time, listen, when we wanted to do something, we was sneaking and doing it. We used to sneak. We wasn't supposed to even, I come from an area where you couldn't even have rap in the house. We had to sneak it in and listen to it. So kids are gonna do stuff, but it's like you're helping your child do something provocative and she's 8.
He had to pay for the wigs. He had to pay for the costumes. He had to pay for the people to shoot the thing. He had to watch his little daughter get dressed up like that. And for him to know who Little Kim is, hey, all this feminism, I attribute it to feminism because I was talking to my brother, right? And you're supposed to be the head of your household. You're supposed to be to talk to your wife and raise your children, but the state tells your wife that she doesn't have to listen to you. Michelle Obama just did a whole speech where she said, hey, wives, go vote against your husband's best interest. Like, she made that statement.
Did she really say?
Yeah, absolutely, positively. And so now they have a whole stat of wives who are going to go and vote against their husbands because men are voting for Donald Trump. And so if we take it to the political realm, politics affects us socially, where these people, man, they had a whole rally that was dedicated to sending babies to go see Jesus. And they normalized it. And I'm like, man, I don't even understand how we got to this place. And so now if we only look at women as objects to be Googled over, oh, you so pretty. You're supposed to fawn over women while simultaneously you're not supposed to look at them when that's all they do is wear Lululemon. And most of them can't afford Lululemon. So y'all wearing knockoff Lululemon.
Man, we got here because of misandry. So a lot of times y'all have heard this word misogyny, but we've got here because of misandry. There's a lot of man hate, all the while leveraging off your body to get male love. And what has it done? It has degraded if that's a word, it's brought degradation to our society. I think it's very terrible. And again, you have a Lil Kim who has given birth to who? The Megan Thee Stallions and the Ice Spices.
She has a whole lineage. I mean, her direct descendant would probably be Kia, and then probably from Kia to the goddamn Nicki Minaj. Anaconda, what? My anaconda don't want. Man, this is the culture that we're promoting, and we just let our daughters be like, man, it's cool. And you say the word misandry, and I'm thinking to myself, man, what power does a misandrist have over me? Unless I listen to her misandry and be like, you right. You sure is right. You should wear whatever you want to do. Yeah, wife, come back at 2:00. I don't got no curfew. Okay, baby, I'll see you in the morning. And she come back with a nut face. And you sitting there with the nut face. Baby.
Hey, when you got men at the Black Men Summit on BET talking about the detriment of sexism and patriarchy, I know that Jesus is coming back in the near future. You are out of your rabbit ass mind to sit up here and say that those are the things that plague our community. And even as a man, the most is patriarchy. Patriarchy is how you got everything you got here.
So how do I have all the responsibility to be a father and to be a husband, but I have no control over this situation? And for me to say the word control, you think that that's abusive. I think it's abusive for a girl to be dressed up as any type of sexual character, whether no matter what it is, all the wigs, all the makeup. I think this is a terrible impression to put upon children, and we just act like it's normal. And for me to say that it's wrong, you want to do everything terrible, and I want to do everything good.
Hey, y'all are going out tomorrow to vote for a woman who is promising you the right to kill babies. That's the I've been told that if I do not cast my vote for Kamala, that I am not protecting women's rights. That is crazy to me. So we love perversion.
So when you said that, we were talking about the election, and it's going to come and it's going to go. Whether Donald Trump gets elected or whether Kamala Harris gets elected, there'll be more presidents. They will come and go. But how in the hell does their policy reflect our culture and what we believe and how I raise my daughter and how I raise my sons and what kind of husband I am? Man, what's wrong with the American woman to even want to vote for that? I would think that the women that I want to date, the women that I want to be mothers of my children, the women that I want to be friends with, they would be disgusted by the idea of chemically murdering a child and then going in there with the forceps and ripping out this baby out of you. Like that, the whole process is disgusting. And so instead of saying, man, I want to fall in love with my Prince Charming and have a family and raise beautiful children, having the fairy tale ending, this is turned into the craziest nightmare.
But what they're appealing to is all women have a sense of wanting control, and that's what they're appealing to.
I think they just want that dick. We try to run away from it. Why in the hell do you need to get an abortion? Why do you need an abortion?
But they want it with control.
Because you got a reckless coochie.
Hey, but remember we said this already, that they only having babies for men they want to be with. They only putting the men that they really want to be with on child support. So that's why it come down to control. It's like, hey, I've mismanaged my coochie. I don't want to have no baby with him. So what I'm gonna do, I want to get rid of it. But him over there who has no reproductive rights, as you said, he has no reproductive rights. I'm gonna have this baby because I want to have this baby with him, and I'm gonna make him pay. He ain't got no control of his money either.
Let's talk about DJ Envy and what kind of man that he is. And so he grew up in the height of hip hop culture when it was a lot of misogyny. Hey, you gonna pour some champagne on a woman? You gonna make her twerk something? You gonna throw money on her? That was a whole wave of entertainment all the way up to probably like 2006, probably.
Yeah.
You gonna bust it or not? You gonna suck it or not? That was Cameron, right?
Oh, man.
You gonna suck it or not? That was a whole generation of entertainer.
Right.
And so DJ Envy grew up under this.
Yes.
And his response was, I'm finna cheat, because he's been married his whole life. I'm finna cheat on my wife, and I'm finna do these things on the road. And then when she found out, she tried to hold him accountable. She put that man in a headlock, and she was like, he had to go on an apology tour. Yeah. He's a broadcaster. He had to go, baby, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry. And why was he saying I'm sorry? Because he got like 5 children, and child support would have been very expensive. There goes the house. There goes
Does he
the
got
car.
5 children with her?
Yeah. He's been married to this woman his whole life.
Okay, yeah.
And so then after he did
like
this whole apology tour, she came out and said, man, he was smashing me for 10 years. I ain't never came. Why would she emasculate her husband like that?
She did say that. Oh, man.
The pressure that Hollywood puts on their man, they took an Olympian and turned him into a woman, and then turned that man who turned into a woman into the woman of the year. How about that?
Man.
How about that? This is what the pressure of Hollywood does to these men.
DJ Envy, you make me ashamed to be light-skinned.
Oh, man. Colorism is destroying the black community.
Oh, destroying it.
No. Him being a slave to his wife because of financial repercussions has turned his daughter into a prostitute. And he get offended by me saying that, but that's the reality of America right now. Man, men who are married, you're a slave to your wife.
Yep.
You can't do nothing. You can't say nothing, or else she's gonna divorce you. Like you're a prisoner to a contract in America, and you're gonna say anything that you need to say to make sure that you justify your reality.
And this is how delusional the feminist movement is, that they took so much pride in watching DJ Envy go on this apology tour. And I say he was really humiliating himself. Are they galvanizing behind what he did to his daughter? Are they looking at his wife and saying, shame on you? What happened to protect? Are we protecting black women? Is the mother in that home protecting the young black sister by preventing her from setting that example or showing that on social media that's going viral? It's because and in fact, I seen a piece of it and I ain't even watch it. So that already lets you know where my mind's at. Like I seen like remnants of this little DJ Envy thing. And then we finally, of course, looked at the clip pre-production to come here. But I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
I live in this world. I go to Target and I see girls that are 8, 9, 10 years old and they got their butt cheeks out. I see girls walking around here and they just look, man, I'm like, why would any mother allow you to behave in this way? And so when you say watch a video, I'm a heterosexual man, and I look at these little girls, and my soul just goes out to them. My heart just cries out for them. I want to hug them. I want to get a blanket and wrap it around them. I want to admonish their mama. And you can't do, man, oh my gosh, bro. I'm riding the bus. I'm getting on the bus. And as I'm getting on the bus, a mother's getting off the bus with her daughter. She was not getting off the bus with her daughter. She had another baby in a stroller, and the little girl was probably less than 5 years old. And all of a sudden, she's off the bus and she looks behind her and she does not see the little girl. You little bitch, you come here. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. This is really happening. Because I'm thinking it's probably a big person because I don't see the little girl. And when I see the girl, it's a child. And she's just sitting there. She looks like she's sleepy. She has sleep in her eyes. And that woman grabbed her by the back of her neck and yanked her off of the bus and started wailing on that girl. And I'm just sitting there and I'm watching this. And she's doing her best terrible black mother impression. When I say something, you see me move, you better move. And when you hear my voice, you better come here. Why you playing with me, you little bitch? As she's hitting on this child. And I see this. And this is in real life. And so then I see what DJ Envy does to his daughter. And he probably thinks that he's loving on his daughter, because on the flip side, someone could be physically abusing their daughter. And when you talk about parenting, when you talk about women in general, the statistics say that women are more abusive to children. They're more abusive to children than men. Whenever a woman is in a position of power, they enact more physical force than a man does. They commit abortions, they whip on children, and then after they whip on children, the men they bring into their house after they push the daddy away, he whips on children and he takes advantage of children. And so all this is happening because they say even after you have a child, you have no reproductive rights in the country. You have no paternal rights in America. I don't give a damn what no court says.
Tommy Sotomayor said that black women are the worst stewards of children, and everybody lost their mind. But we see it through statistics and time again that he's not wrong. Even if he was, bringing that message in such a,
I think it's just a different kind of abuse. Because white women abuse their children in a whole different way. They abuse their children through neglect. They abuse their children through emotional, just la-la land. When I say la-la land, because they believe, I think this is the ethos of the American woman today. Women believe that they are superior to their man, and they believe that they are superior to their child. And so it's just a world of women who want to buy frivolous things and have no responsibility for their vagina whatsoever.
I think it's just superimposed with our women because we just have those single rates are just higher. But what you're saying is not inaccurate. That is totally true. It's just that
they're going to go by per capita because we're 13% of the population.
Right.
But there are more white women who have this lived experience. They've been living this experience for a long time. I mean, you go all the way back to when they're supposed to be, the good white family. Mm-hmm. All they did was send their little pregnant white daughter to go stay with auntie whoever and probably put the baby up for adoption until she came back a summer later. This culture, because I say culture. Fish swim, birds fly, and human beings have sex. Women, because it feels so terrible. It feels so terrible.
Right.
If you believe in God, God said that when you are physically able to reproduce, then you can reproduce. If God didn't give her the body to reproduce, then she couldn't have no baby. And what I'm saying sounds crazy, but as soon as she gets that first menstrual cycle, that's her body waving to the world, I'm a lady now. If you look at cultures, when you look at Jewish culture, they have the bar mitzvah and the bat mitzvah. That's 13. When you look at Hispanic culture, they got the quinceañera. That's the 15. This is acknowledgement that this person is physically capable of reproducing life. That's all it's saying.
Right.
So now when we take that and we use legislation, because I want to talk about policy and how policy doesn't change culture. I don't care what kind of laws you pass. You can pass a law that says women can't have sex till they're 25 and they still finna be fucking.
That's true.
You can demonize every man in America. You can put men in prison. You can put R. Kelly in prison. You could put P. Diddy in prison. You can put all these men in prison. And guess the common denominator? These women still out here fucking.
But they don't want to be accountable for that. Nobody wants to hold. Okay, let's get deeper. Let's take the gloves off because I don't want to. I
just want to set it up.
Yeah, that's you premise. Doing it. This is such a touchy topic. So it's like, okay, I was in a conversation. Hear me out. I was in a conversation about R. Kelly with a woman who was a school teacher, and I asked her, would she still listen to R. Kelly? And this was a private conversation, so she didn't mind sharing her real feelings. She was like, I am still going to listen to R. Kelly, and here are my reasons why. Because I feel that at 14 and 15 years old, those young ladies knew exactly what they were doing. That's what she said.
Why would anyone need to justify listening to music? But if we're going to do that, we got to cancel all artists.
But it's just to your point. It's like, do we start talking about do's, don'ts, rights, wrong, and accountability? Because like what you just said, your body is saying, hey, I can procreate, I can produce at this age, but we have men that are going to prison for this. We have people that are taking their whole careers out for having interaction with minor women, right? So are those minor women being told, you should not be doing that. You should not be doing it at this time. When is the right place to be able to procreate? Like, are we having that discussion?
There's a movie called Children of Men. I think the guy who starred in the movie is Clive Owen. It's a crazy movie. It's probably made in 1999. The premise of this movie is that we haven't had babies in America or in the world for 19 years. The whole world is infertile. And so when I heard this, I'm like, that's impossible until I realized that of men who have the ability to reproduce, 25% of men are infertile right now, at this very moment, right now. Of women right now, there's a plague in America. It's a silent plague, but it's a loud plague. You see it everywhere. It's called PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. I'm sorry, man. I'm all in your body right now. But you see it right now, and it some women, they become infertile. Some women, they get big wrists. Some women get big calves. It's a hormone imbalance. Some women have beards. And so this is happening right now. Yeah. And so when this woman is running around America, Kamala Harris, why you ain't got no children? Answer that question. You ain't got to answer right now, but ask yourself, why you ain't got no children? When you look at a woman who's 60 years old and she ain't got no children, if we're not talking about infertility, if we're not talking about PCOS, then we don't care about these women. Right. We don't care about America. All we want to do is see an 8-year-old dressed up in a wig talking about, I'm a freak you. This is the culture in America. And so when men don't want to have this conversation, when men don't want to say, hey, listen here, you're trampling on my parental rights. I have no reproductive rights. And as long as we continue to go along with the program, then it's all good because they know you ain't finna do nothing. No. The American woman knows you ain't finna do nothing. So what am I supposed to do? I can't be strong because you done made me weak through legislation. Civil disobedience is how Martin Luther King captured the world. Civil disobedience is how Gandhi captured the world. We understand that the moment I say no to the government and I have force towards the government finna bring in the National Guard and they're going to kill my black ass. That's the facts of life. And so when I stand up to the government, I got to withdraw my energy from the government. You know what I'm saying? Because if you show me, then I know it's possible.
Go ahead.
During COVID-19, less than 1% of the total American population died from this thing called COVID-19, and they shut down the entire world. All right? There are 10, 15, 20 million men who are being persecuted through legislation that says you don't have any paternal rights. And so guess what we can do? If the government can shut down the government, then 15 million men can shut down this government. And this is an act of civil disobedience. It ain't got to be extended. But when I say we're going to go to our capital, you ain't got to go to your capital. You go to your city hall and just stand there in your presence of solidarity to let these people know, hey, women matter. I matter. My children matter. Families matter. Hell yeah, like I'm Carl Winslow.
What does parental rights look like for or reproductive rights? What does that look like for a man?
Absolutely. If we're going to have a conversation, if you're even the moment that you know that you're having a baby, I need to know that you're having a baby. This should be legislated automatically. If you do not let me know that you're having a baby within a certain amount of time, then hey, you waive my rights as a father without giving me proper notification. Now, secondly, if you notify me and I tell you that I'm excited about having a baby, and you tell me that you want to to send that baby to go see Jesus or put that baby up for abortion or whatever, I get to sign away my parental rights because I say I disagree. I want to be the father. Or I should have the ability to fight you in court for custody of this child.
Agreed. And I think if you've been having multiple partners unprotected, then there has to be some type of disqualification or something included when you're doing that, because you have women that don't know who the daddy is sometimes.
Donald Trump, he loaded the courts up so that they can take Roe versus Wade and put it back on the states and say, you have to go and vote to say that you want to do this thing. And I think that we need to take the government out of family, put families back in control of the mother and the father, and we have to negotiate this. It's no more daddy government making me do anything. Hell no, I'm saying no. It's civil disobedience, and I'm telling the government, you could put me. How many times did Martin Luther King go to jail? 33 plus times he went to jail because he said that these laws that tell me that I can't go into the diner, that's wrong. These laws that tell me that I can't go to this hospital or go to this school, that's wrong. And these laws that tell me that I can't see my child unless the state or this woman gives me permission, that's wrong.
And I also think that it should not be by default that a woman gets a certain type of custody of the child. It's like you have to fight tooth and nail to get 50-50 if you can get that. You can get all types of orders in play, but if she does not agree, typically they default to the mother. So I think that should change too.
Legislation. It should be as soon as you have a baby, it should be 50-50 custody. And however y'all negotiate.
I love this.
As long as there is no goddamn on physical force in that situation. Right. And then when you go back to the crime bill that says automatically that because I'm bigger than, bro, I think there should be a law, because if we're going to play this, I just want to show how irrational this thing is. If we're going to play this game, there should be a law that says every man over 6 feet tall, if you touch a man that's under 6 feet tall, then you're automatically going to go to jail because you're bigger and stronger than me.
Right.
If physicality matters, then I'm 5 foot, however tall I am. I'm not 6 foot. And so every 6 footer, if you put your hands on me because they talking about women are scared. You know how many men are afraid of men?
Hey, a bunch.
Have no physical force. They walk around, those big, strong men that you afraid of, woman, a man is afraid of that exact same man. That bully, that man is afraid of that exact same man. And so when you actually just put a spotlight on this thing, it's irrational. And the only way that you show how irrational this thing is to withdraw my energy. Hey, you want that crazy lady? You go act crazy over there.
And the legislation points to y'all not being equal. It's like at the end of the day, you try to say you're my equivalent, but all the laws are leaning towards you in such a way to give you some type of advantage that you just naturally don't have. So if we really want to have equal legislation that protects us all, it needs to reflect. You know what? This is really, I wasn't even expecting for this to come up in the show. I never thought about men having reproductive rights. And you asked me that. And I'm like, well, what does that look like? But when you explain it, I'm like, yes, that should totally be it. Like, we don't really have it. And if y'all ever been in a courtroom, in family court, you are lacking as a man in there. All men, no matter what color you are behind the curve.
You know what's emasculating? My ex-wife, she lives far away from me right now, okay? The public bus system doesn't get to where she's at. And so she moved away. She was in inner city, and she tells me that if I don't give her money or if I don't try to find an Uber to go out there to see my children, bro, I am trying my best to survive in this economy. I'm trying my best to pay this rent. I'm trying my best to eat this food, and I'm trying my best to show up for my children. And I got this person telling me if I don't give her money or pay some expense, then I can't see my own children. And I'm like, why in the hell would you behave in that manner? But you know what? I don't acquiesce to her bullshit. I'm like, you know what? As I love you so much, and I love them so much that I don't want to engage in none of this type of fighting. And so when you're ready to operate in good faith, I will. And as much as I cry and as all the tears that I shed, hey boys, I love y'all with all my heart. And daddy will see you again. And so when y'all say that these stories of these women, hey, there are men who are separated from their children and they cannot do anything except for say, I'm finna go to the courthouse and we finna change this thing. 10 million men can change it, but there's so many more. And you ain't just got to go. You ain't got to be with the get along, go along game. No. You will not take advantage of me. I have the right to fight back. It's my hope, it's my prayer that if DJ Envy had financial control over his own self, he had bodily autonomy over his own self, and his wife wasn't holding him hostage in his house, I pray that DJ Envy wouldn't have done that. But even still, where's your character? You can't be no coward. This is a time of heroes. Cat Williams said, man, it's good versus evil, nigga. What side is you on?
I'm on the side with the greatest Americans alive.
Because you're the greatest American alive.
The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive.